it's TCK Sling here, and I'm bringing you guys my Stage 1 Zoroark deck that I've decided to go ahead and whip up. Now, this deck has been here and there within the game of Pokemon for a few formats now. However, it really didn't seem to have everything going for it, but now it seems like it could actually be a lot better than it ever has been. So, allow me to go ahead and introduce you to this. If you haven't already been familiarized with the deck, I'll go ahead and explain it to you right now. So the whole point of the deck is to use Zoroark. Stage 1 has the ability Phantom Transformation, allowing you to once per turn, you may choose a Stage 1 Pokemon except for Zoroark in your discard pile. If you do, discard this Pokemon and all attached cards, and then put the chosen Pokemon in its place. So this allows you to reach into your discard pile and pull out a toolbox of attackers that can hit for very big numbers, especially when you add in weakness and other things like that. So we are playing a 4 line of Zorua and Zoroark because we always want to make sure that we are seeing those Pokemon. To get things into the discard, we are playing a 3-3 line of both Ralts and Curlia. Curlia having the Refinement ability, allowing you to discard a card from your hand and then draw 2 cards. So this is a very, very solid draw engine and very, very synergetic with the point of the deck. So then for the random Pokemon, we are also playing a one of Manaphy just for the bench protection and a Gallade, so that way we can use the Buddy Catch ability to allow us to just grab a supporter card. But what's also nice about this is in the event that it comes up that your opponent has something that is weak to Psychic, then Gallade steps right up and hits for 320 damage and has a pretty interesting ability of being able to move an energy from this Pokemon to a bench Pokemon, meaning that you can go ahead and make a play of putting a Zoroark into the discard early, so that way you can set up a Pokemon to switch your energy to with the Gallade. So that's it for like the engine pieces. As far as the attackers go, we are playing a one of Flapple with acidic mucus, doing 50 damage times the amount of Pokemon that have abilities in play that your opponent controls. So it can hit up to at least, or to at most, 300 damage. But most of the time this is used is just a blanket attacker, and sometimes can actually come in clutch and take those one hit KOs on V Pokemon and things like that. Next, we have the one of Mightyena having the ability Hustle Bark, allowing you to attack for free if your opponent has a VMAX in play. So it does 160. It's dark. It hits for weakness on both Mew VMAX, but also Gardevoir EX with the new Reversal Energy, which we'll get to in a little bit. Next, we've got the Hisuian Arcanine, has the attack Scorching Horn, doing 80 damage plus an additional 80 and burning the Pokemon if it has a fire energy attached to it. That is fulfilled with the Reversal Energy, so that way you can hit for 320 damage for weakness on your opponent and burn them. So if it has 330 damage, well, then you can go ahead and burn them. So you can still get the KO, which is really nice. Beyond that, we have a Kilowattrel. Does 150 damage, can attack the next turn, but for triple colorless, its attack cost gets fulfilled for the reversal energy. So this helps in the Lugia matchups and also the Palkia matchups and things like that. Beyond that, we are also playing a one of Scavillain. This is a niche attacker, and most people in this place would probably play the Appleton. However, I decided to go ahead and play this because it seemed necessary for not only the Tyranitar Lugia build, but also the fact that Ting Lu does exist. Now, it's not on the ladder at the moment, but when Ting Lu comes back, we are going to need something that attacks for weakness, because it does have a pretty bulky HP line, and it just would really be helpful if we're able to attack for weakness. So Scovillain kind of just fits that slot. Next, we have Titan, which hits for 220 damage if it has a special energy attached to it, so that again, is something else that gets filled up with the reversal energy. And then the last attacker we're using is the Slowbro Twilight Inspiration, allowing you to take 2 prize cards when your opponent gets down to exactly 1, allowing you to pick up the game once you manipulated the prize cards to where your opponent has 1 left and you have 2 left. For the trainer cards, we are playing 2 Iono, 1 Boss, 2 Serena, 3 Research, and 1 Miriam. That is all of the the supporters that we were playing, but we were also playing 1 Pal Pad just to kind of recycle those when we need to. Beyond that, we are playing a 2 of Path to the Peak just for the Tinglu matchup when it comes back, but also it can come up in some matchups. You can use it in maybe Mew, and just kind of hope that they don't have the Lost Vacuum. You can use it in a Lugia matchup and kind of force them to have the out for it, so that way they can go ahead and use their ability. It can stop your opponent from being able to Lumineon late game if you need to, keep them from getting into an Iono or things like that. And then we're also playing 2 Artisan just to kind of ensure that we get our basics into play. Beyond that, we are playing, for the ball supporters, we are playing 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Nest Ball, 4 Level Ball, and that is it for all the ball supporters. That seemed like it was quite enough, especially with the Artisan, but I would say if you could fit any more in here, it would probably be something along the lines of Great Ball, allowing you to look at the top 7 and just grab a Pokemon, since you do play quite a large Pokemon line. We are also playing 2 Super Rod to kind of complement the Miriam and not leave it all up to a trainer card or to a supporter card to do the recycling. And then we are also playing a 1 of Switch and a 1 of Escape Rope. So that's it for all of the trainer cards. Kept it fairly simple. Um, but for the most part, it's very explosive, and every card has its purpose in the deck, of course. So for energy, we're playing 2 double turbo energy, 1 gift energy, and 2 gift energy and 4 reversal energy. So we're playing 8 energy total. It seems like it's been enough. Usually you can pretty much survive off of 6. So if you have to throw a couple away, maybe for a manually retreat, or you just have to get rid of it off of a research, you can. But for the most part, you just want to be wary about how much um, energy you've used. So later on in the game, you always have the energy needed, i.e. double turbo or the reversal energy, to go ahead and take those final 2 prize cards with Slowbro. So I've recorded some games to show you guys. We got one against Lugia Single Strike and one against Mew VMAX. Hope you guys enjoy, and see you guys in the next one. Alright, let's get some games in with the Zoroark Stage 1 box. Depending on how long this game is, probably only do one, because this deck usually takes a little bit to play through, with it being a single prizer, of course. Yes, I want to go first. So we have to go Rolton active. Mew, okay. Rolt's on the bench. Do this. Get ourselves a Zorua. We kind of have to get set up at least with a Zorua, and then we got to pass. Next turn, we're going to have to research pretty quickly. We pretty much have until they take like 4 prize cards. By the time they take 4, we need to be taking So we need to have taken 3. So they have about 3 turns, or we have about 3 turns before we're going to have to get attacking with a Mightyena. So we have 3 turns to get Mightyena, and if we can't, then I think our only play is to boss or Gust KO, Genesect with so there's no rush really, but we do need to get set up. So he gets the school vet, okay. So he's going to go ahead and school vet before he uses his last fusion strike system. Makes sense. Get the most draw off of it. So he can go ahead and energy mix, get himself another fusion strike energy, which is all fine and dandy. So we need to make sure that we get ourselves another artisan, or use our artisan to get ourselves another Zorua. Make sure that we have 2 of those in play. Now, we're not necessarily too worried about... We don't need the artisan now, so we're going to go ahead and path. I'm not too worried about them carrying the Ralts, I just want to get another Ralts down. So, there's our way to get another Ralts. Never mind, we don't have another Ralts. So what do we have? Just the research. Do this. Get ourselves the Curlia. Curlia. Get rid of DTE. Go ahead and place that there. Go ahead and use this. Put back boss, put back research. And pass turn. So either they KO the Curlia, they like boss KO the Curlia. Which if they do that, then this has an energy to be moved to another Pokemon later on when I get back the Buddy Catch Gallade. We don't necessarily need to out our own path. We're just kind of putting that up and forcing them to out it. Meanwhile, forcing them to also give us a draw 5. So we are actually big chillin' at this point. Oh yeah, we are cooking. We are cooking. Mightyena is in the deck. Got all threes. Wow. Okay. I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter. We're gonna get 3 prize cards here. And get ourselves the Mightyena. The Mightyena. Just see what we have left in the deck to grab. Grab the Flapple. Just to get rid of the Flapple. Grab Titan. And hit for 320 damage. For no energy. Take 3 prize cards. And if you're going up against a Guardy deck, you mainly just use this to attack the Gardevoir EX, and you use your triple rainbow energy to pull that attack off. So Max Miracle. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Phantom Transformation, pull out the Mightyena, and attack. There's the reversal energy if we were to need it. Grab the Mightyena. Give him the thumbs up. Good game, fellow gamer. And he concedes. Go ahead and do one more after that. That was a quick game. So we'll get the second game in after we just pretty quickly went through our opponent's Mii Max deck. See what this fellow trainer has to offer. So we are going to have to mulligan. Fortunately, it was only one. We are starting with a Ralts. Now, they start with Lumineon, okay. Lumineon could come back to haunt them later on. If we get into a Serena or a boss. It's a Lugia deck. He's got the Archeops already. Look at him go. This guy is a professional gamer, guys. So no need to fear. Professional gamers here. So the only question I have for him is this the T-Tar build or is this the colorless build? So we're going to go Ralts, Zorua. Play these down and pass it back to them. We're not forced on a clock, but I will say we are forced onto a clock that this next turn they are going to be attacking with the Lugia, and it would be very nice to get into a Watch Rail. However, we do have another turn to work. Our second turn, we can't afford to use that. to set up. So if we don't get set up next turn, actually, sorry, he'll take one prize card. If we don't get set up next turn, he'll take a second prize card, and then we definitely need to be set up after that. We need to return, fire, KO. Okay, so he does have the T-Star, so now that also opens up the door for us to have to use our Scovillain. So that's something to note. So we need Watrail to KO the Lugias, and then we need Scovillain to KO the Tyranitar. You could also use Flapple to boss KO the Lumineon. But we just need to KO two Pokemon, two of the Vs. So we're going to go ahead and put up the Zorua. We're going to go ahead and evolve into the Kirlia. There's an Ultra Ball. So we'll go Ultra Ball. Get rid of these two. Probably just need to guarantee that we get into the Watrail, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go this, get ourselves another Zorua. Do this, get rid of these two, get ourselves the Scovillain. And we will go ahead and pass there. And that way this time, now next turn is where we got to kind of step it up and get into the important cards. We need a Zoroark and we need a Luminous Energy. Those are our options. If our opponent goes into the T-Tar, which it looks like they might just be setting up, but they might go into it as well. If they do go into it, then that means they're going to try and mill out some of the cards from my deck, which is why I also wanted to hold the Rod. Just in case. But if they do attack with that, then we do have the Scovillain, and we need the same two cards for both of them. So we're pretty much on a get these two cards, and then we will be very, very fine past that. We can get, because if we get those two cards, then the following turn we get another Zorua and another Luminous Energy, or Reversal Energy rather. And then all we need is Slowbro. So he's going to take two prized cards. And honestly, I do like doing it this way as well. Because what this allows for is I'm going to take two prize cards on this turn if I get all the cards that I need. And so because of that, once he takes another prize card on his following turn, we're still behind one prize card. And if we follow up with another KO right then and there, well then we are pretty good position, in a pretty good position. So we'll do this, we'll go Ralts, that, and Zorua. Three useful cards. And then we'll go ahead and Iono. They are at 4. We still have 1 refinement ability left. The Zoroark and the Luminous. So we are actually chilling now. So we're going to put this down. We're going to go ahead and Nest Ball. Get ourselves a Zorua. Go ahead and Refinement. Get rid of the Ultra Ball because we don't really need that right now. There's another Ralts. Go ahead and Phantom Transformation. Get ourselves the Wild Trail. Well, most of these decks have abandoned using the Dunsparce. So that's where Wild Trail kind of comes into play. And we'll go ahead and use this. Put back double research. Because if we see that next turn, then we can just use that over a Serena. So we go ahead and KO this, take our 2 prize cards. They return fire KO. Following turn, we have the Zoroark already. And that'll allow us to go into the Scovillain. There's another Iono. So he's going into this, which is understandable. As long as we get into a Luminate or into a reversal energy, then we are solid. At this point, we get more cards with Serena than we do with Iono. So, it is something to note. However, we do have 1 refinement ability. We have a second. So he's not going to go in with the Tyranitar. He's going to go ahead and go in with the Lugia. Very interesting. It's very interesting that we're going with that because I think that the biggest play that would put us at the biggest scare would be if he would to boss the Zorua and KO that with the T-Tar. But unbeknownst to him, we have the Serena in hand, and we could just Serena and kill a Wattrel. But that's fine. We got hit with Judge, but we actually got literally things that we could use. We're going to kill a Wattrel on next turn, and then all we have to worry about is getting into a Slowbro. We're attacking with the Scovillain. Just, another thing. But that is also one good thing is that at this point we are able to just go ahead of them. So we'll just do this. Get rid of the Flapple because we don't need it. And there's the Iono. Kill a Wattrel here. Luminous Energy. Iono our opponent. Down to 3. We'll get 4. We'll go this. Get ourselves a second Curlia. Go Artisan. Use Artisan. Get a second Zorua. Just to kind of keep any shenanigans from ensuing. Put down the Curlia. Curlia, get rid of the research. Draw 2 more. There's the Slowbro. Hit for 300. And one thing to note is that Kilowattrel does have free retreat. So If your opponent tries to stall by not attacking because you go ahead of prize cards and you have Flapple in the discard, you can just retreat into the Zoroark, Zoroark into Flapple, and then you're solid. Opponent's going to go in with the T-Tar here, which is a very reasonable thing to do. We have the Miriam. I think that we are probably going to Miriam. And we'll go Miriam, put back all 4 Zoroark pieces. Just to ensure that we get into the Zoroark. So we can go ahead and attack. Zoom Cragalanche. Discard the top 2. Which is fine. This takes 2 prize cards. Go ahead and Miriam here. And we'll put back, as I said, the Zoroark pieces. Draw 3 cards. Go ahead and use this. Get a Zorua. Use this. Get another Zorua. Go ahead and Refinement. Put the Slowbro in the discard pile. Draw 2 cards. Let's take a look at the energies we've used. We still have 2 reversal energy left at our disposal. We have 1 double turbo, and we have a gift energy. So I don't think we'll need any of that, but they might have the goo with a Luminion or something of that nature. And then we'll pass over to them. Probably shouldn't have evolved that. However, we still have 1 more rod at our disposal. And not to mention that it kind of gives him an incentive to knock it out. Well, it is a Zoroark, so I might as well knock it out. Is, usually the thought process that I think he would take. Because there's nothing else that would really be worth KOing. I mean, yeah, the Buddy Catch Gallade, but I still have the Curly. He could KO the Curly, but then I have the Gallade. So that's essentially the same thing. No use in taking out a Zorua when we have the Zoroark. So he gets rid of the Gallade. Which is fine. And that gets rid of 1 reversal energy. But it's okay because we still have 1 reversal energy, 1 DTE. And that's the 2 cards that we need. So we're just going to hope that we hit that. We should. So go ahead and Refinement. Get rid of Titan. Go ahead and Phantom Transformation. Grab ourselves the one and only Slowbro. And he doesn't like it, but that's just life, buddy. That's just life. GG's, even though he's upset about it, we had to get the content, my brother. So, thank you guys for joining in and watching this video. I will see you guys in the next live stream or video. and peace.